Today I'm just going to be showing you the work I did well, over yesterday. And yeah, there's videos for the work I did yesterday. I'm doing it today. And yeah, this video isn't going to be much about the UI. I've already done a post about that and you don't really need more than images for it. But I'll show you a couple of things. So first off, we got controls. It just shows you how to use the game and all that. It's pretty cool. Got a nice font for everything. And I won't get copyright infringement for this. Although I shouldn't really. Technically, you cannot be copyright striked for work of education, for education related work. Yeah, for some reason, that's a part of the rules we have to follow. Even though we can't get copyright striked for it. And there is a loading screen, but the game loads so fast that the loading screen is practically pointless. It doesn't even get a chance to update most of the time. Sometimes the bar manages to make one update and then everything just loads. But the text never gets a chance to update. I'm assuming that's because, well, as the name says, it's a text mesh render. There's probably a mesh, and that's how it renders, and it probably takes a lot of time to render updates for that. But yeah, we are going to be showing the new things I made. So the first new thing I made is mud. This does also sometimes spawn on the main menu, but I guess we just got unlucky. And the deeper you're in this mud, the slower you'll get, and the further out, the faster you get. When you leave it, you should get a temporary speed boost. So let's just open up the player character here. We got our max speed there, and there's all my. Stop it. As you can see, we get deeper in, we get slower. Right at the center will become very slow. But that center is probably blocked by the walls. Yeah. And then we get temporary speed boost upon leaving, and eventually it goes back down to 600. Awesome. And this mud, it spawns on the tiles. However, it doesn't spawn randomly. People may think that it does, and I wouldn't blame them for it. How it works is we have something called the Fabber. I could have said prefabber, but that doesn't sound as cool as the Fabber. Anyhow, the Fabber is a lovely little tool that, well, it can spawn things basically. So after the chunks are loaded, it can spawn content onto those chunks. But it can make it so that only a set amount of items will only ever spawn per all the multiple spawning positions. So we could say I only want 2 chunks. For this chunk, I only want 2 puzzles of mud to ever have the chance of spawning. And then you can also set the spawn probability. So that's pretty cool. Now, can we make it back to the start? I'm assuming we won't be able to. I'm pretty sure we went too far. Yeah, we can't. Or bonus distance. We can't. Can we? Oh, oh. Since we passed that barrier up there, we should now be able to make it all the way back. Past the branching chunk. Come on, come on, come on. Don't know why I got caught in there. You know what? I shouldn't have gone too far right. Oh, I'm that close. Anyhow, so we got that. we also got lovely particle effects for the UI, for when the bars go down. It's pretty cool. And this weapon will damage us, the red weapon. That's purely just so I could test different things, like the player dying and the health bar and all that. So the red weapon will still damage us for now. But moving on from that, we've also got the speed pickup. And the speed pickup, well, it does what it says on the tin. Except you lose pretty much the effects of the pickup instantly the second you end up in mud. So, something to be cautious about. However, the speed pickup is not finished. You may have noticed, that is just a sword. There is a reason for that. It's not finished. There is no texture made for it. So that will be one of my next priorities, along with adding an ability to escape from this. What else have I got on the list? Oh yeah, I got add points and then add sound. But we got this, and that's most things so far. Now let's show you the player dying. Hopefully it works this time. Because the dead body physics, it's been acting up sometimes. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those days. Unity it's something. I have to constantly work around problems that one would think that they don't have to work around. Come on, come on. I didn't die. Oh, I got one bullet hitting me. Come on, hurt me. Hit me. Hit me with that one. Come on. Yes. 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 Do it. Finish it, Anakin. It had a little bit of movement. Just all freeze. Normally, what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to go flying around the whole screen and everything, but like I said, Unity has been acting up when it comes to making that one work. Let's see if we can get it working in more open space. No, it doesn't feel like working. But when it does work, it works well. Just doesn't feel like working now. Here, I got something we can do. That button. We could go to the main game, and we could just drag in a couple of our dead bodies. Go on. We'll just drag him free. And then we'll play. And then we'll force it to happen by firing a bullet at it. And that should cause the whole thing to kick off. But this is what happens when you die. Your body becomes extra bouncy and it bounces around. But again, I don't know why Unity doesn't make it work. It should. It's just one of those things, one of those days. I'll change the dead body physics code just a tad. I have an idea for what I could do to make it work better, and it involves doing something that Unity probably wouldn't like very much, but it would work. So there's that. But yeah. Oh, and the high score also works, as in it will save your score and everything. But occasionally Unity has been resetting it. Why? Again, it's just one of those days. It doesn't like working. I don't know why. It should be very simple. What we do with the high score is we retrieve data from file. We then put that data in a variable as a number. We then put that data back into the file when the game has been closed. And doing that whole process should mean that variable constantly gets saved somewhere. And it should also mean that when we change the variable in the game, that variable should change in the file after the game. But for some reason Unity just has a bad day every now and again and doesn't notify the file that it needs to be changed. I don't know why. Or more rather, it does notify the file that it has to be changed, but it doesn't send it the correct information, so it just results in the number being 0, and then it saves 0 back into it. And, yeah, it's not very good. But yeah, the high score does work. It's just it only works sometimes when it feels like working. Because Unity is well, it's something. It's something. I'll give you that. It is something. So let's just go to here. Yeah, sure. I'm just saving those 3 dead bodies, didn't I? Yeah. Huh. Oh, there it is. It's just being invisible. So what we can do is we can basically run into this and we can get points. And we hit pause. And we go back in. And as you can see, the high score works. Is Unity gonna be a douche now? No! Awesome! But yeah, we got a high score. Is there anything else to show you? I don't think so. Hmm. Oh yeah, I haven't showed you one thing. Hang on. I haven't showed you the mud spawning in the game. I mean, I have to a bit, but I haven't properly showed you that to let you take it in and all that. So let's do that. Oh, I think we can get rid of those 3 dead bodies. So the mud does spawn in to the level. And also, it does take a bit of a delay to spawn in. It's not like the tiles, it runs differently to the tiles. As in, it's not randomly generated in, there's no variance for it. It comes after the tiles, so you may notice as we move along, the mud, it spawns well after. Not a long time after, just like 0.5 seconds after, I believe. Something like that. But yeah, it's not really a process of the tiles. It's a process of the fabric spawner, which I mentioned. That's unfair placement right there. If you ended up running into those two, oof. There is sometimes where it just gets a bit unfair just for the lols. Oh, like there, that's unfair. I mean, there's still one route open, but still. Let's see if we can find a really unfair instance of unfairness where you have no hope. The mud spawning has died down a bit. No, that's not really unfair. Could have gone that way, there was more mud that way. There's more mud this way as well. Okay, this is just unfair being so close to each other. As you decide to turn left, oh, you have a bad day. But you can get a couple of unfair placements. I'd say that's slightly unfair. For sure, we had one in the last session I was on this map. It just spawned two mods right next to each other, with a little gap in between. But yeah, the mud does randomly spawn in. And so would the speed pickup when that's fully finished and has a texture. That's mostly the main reason as to why it's not finished right now. It just doesn't have a texture. Once it has one of those, I'm good to add that to the game. Oh yeah, here's an unfair one. I mean, you can still make that, but if you make it go too far up, you're stuck. Okay, yeah, found the unfair ones. You run mud here, or you run all the way down here. Not too unfair. There are a couple of nasty ones in there, though. Possible spawning positions for the mud relative to each other. That's the unfair one. That's a really unfair one. I mean, you could possibly make it. You just have to slow down to a crawl just to get through that little gap. But yeah, there's mud. Also, fun interesting fact about the mud, while we're here, that texture is just the water texture that comes with the assets. That comes with the default assets for the tile maps. So you may be thinking to yourself, how did I make that brown? Because, again, if we just close this, and we'll go to the tutorial work scenes, level 1, yes. Has it done it? Yeah, it's done it. It's just sent me out into the void. Because if we see here, the water is actually grey. So how I got around that is I put, oh, what's it called? Filter or something? Overlay? A thing that you can put over something and it just magically changes the colour of how that thing looks through the thing you put over it. Tint! I put a tint on it that makes it orange. Which wasn't easy. I had to create a whole file just to tint one thing. But I'm not complaining, it helps the mud to stand out. Helps to make people aware of the danger. All that jazz. But yeah, it's just that water. Well, it's not this water, it's a different variant of this water, but it's the same thing. It's just without the waves in it. Wait for me! Oh yeah, I forgot that one still has damaged the cell phone. Fine, don't wait for me, I'll shoot you to death with my death beam. Oh yeah, I also added icons for these. They're just random icons I found in the game files. This one's for fire, and that one's for your shotgun. This one's got 3 little stones, because it's automatic, so more than one. And the blue one's just a black, deep, orange, maroon void. And then we can walk off the edge into the void of nothing. I need to figure out why it doesn't like drawing that beam. I haven't been able to. I've tried. It just doesn't like doing it. Oh shit. And now I'm stuck. I'm welded to the front of this thing. Somebody help me. How? I am under the train. But yeah, that's everything. There we go. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be talked about. Yeah. Let's do a nice walk off into the void of nothing and then end this right as we touch the void. Goodbye. Have a very lovely